Rogers TV.
Hello everybody, my name is Jason Piercey and this is Out of the Fog. Today we're gonna talk about communication and good communication, and that's how I'm gonna string this together. We're gonna talk to Emily Martin. She is the founder and an instructor at Shine Music, which gives people the opportunity to communicate things through music that maybe they otherwise couldn't. And we're gonna have a really good conversation with our old friend, the Honorable Minister Tom Osborne, Health and Community Services Department, of course, and some stuff that's been going on there. Like, what have you been doing with the last $1 billion we gave you, Tom? All of that right after this. Welcome back to Out of the Fog. Music, song, la-di-da, diddly-diddly music. That's what I used to make fun of my dad when he was cooking Jig's dinner on Sunday. He'd be like, Dad, you got the diddly-diddly music on again.
I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly, you do. Emily Martin from Shine Music. Hello, how are you?
So great. Love being here. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we love having you here. So let's talk, before we talk all about music and how wonderful and incredible it is for a whole bunch of reasons, let's talk a little bit about what Shine is.
So Shine Music, I love to let people in on the fact that Shine was my nickname growing up. So it's very important to me.
Ask.
Oh, really?
No, not what your nickname was growing up. I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask where the name Shine came from.
Okay. So I think it's an awesome motto to have, to shine.
Sure.
But when I opened up my studio from my home on Hayward Avenue 10 years ago, I just opened it as Shine, just because the word means so much to me. But yeah, it was my nickname growing up, and my dad always called me Shine.
Because you were a performer?
No, because I had a nightmare and just screamed out Shine a bunch of times, but I guess it suited me, you know? I was not a performer. I struggled with stage fright a lot.
Not where I thought that was going to go.
No, but it's true.
I'm not going to lie, because I had a nightmare one time, and Dad said, okay, cool. Well, maybe we could just like onto the rest. But now Shine Music is a music school.
Yep.
And you teach everybody everything about music with yourself, and you said like a half a dozen or 10 other instructors as well?
Yeah, I have 7 other instructors. Yep, who are amazing. And we teach music in a way that works for each individual person. So we build our lesson plans based on the individual students' interests, or how they see music, or how they want to sing, or how they've always wanted to sing, or we'll incorporate something that they're interested in, like it could be a TV show, it could be drawing. Some people will draw while they sing. But we use music as a tool to make our students, to help our students feel celebrated and seen and heard, so that they can go into life and shine. As cheesy as that is, it's true.
It is true.
That's why we do it.
No, I can see it now. And you pride yourselves on being an inclusive environment. And it never would have occurred to me, like we were speaking off camera before we started here, that it never would have occurred to me that somebody would be interested in learning music and be intimidated to reach out to an instructor, because they're like, well, I can't read music. I don't know what a scale is. I don't know what order the notes are in. Like, what are these dots with the curly bits and the swirly ones? Like, and that would have been like, okay, I can't learn music.
Yep.
But it doesn't, I guess it doesn't have to be that formal. Is that a good way to put it?
Unless you want it to be. Like we all teach theory as well. I love theory, like the swirly bit. But it's so fun too, like to learn theory, especially when people think that they can't. because a couple tips and tricks, and we'll help you get there if you want. But I also facilitated the music program at Easter Seals, so that's where I kind of embodied this like creative, expressive music class, because I know how much our community really needs it.
So what made you want to create a place that allowed people to be less intimidated?
Well,
because you could have taught music to anybody.
Yeah. I guess when I started teaching in music studios, I saw people getting turned away. And so that's kind of where it all began, where I was like, okay, well, if you're getting turned away, come talk to me. I'll talk to your parents. We'll see what you need, and we'll see if I can help you and create a music lesson for you.
So why would people get turned away?
Just for having like different disabilities.
Got you.
Yeah, so a lot of people in a studio that I worked at would get turned away for having autism. So I went and got a little bit of training and worked with some people with autism, and then started teaching more people who had autism, and went to Toronto and got a little bit more training there.
I feel like you just glossed over, I got a little bit of training, like it wasn't a big deal, or like it wasn't important.
Well, it is important. I just want to make, I just think it's more important to recognize everybody like as a whole.
Sure.
So oftentimes with the methods that I learned, I incorporate those into all of my music lessons. You know, if it comes to like positive reinforcement, or giving someone eye contact or not, you know, whatever will make...
Based on what their individual needs are.
Yeah, so really it's mostly just about reading the room. So you could give me a resume with all of these qualifications, but if you can't read the room, and if you don't know, you know, if you can't feel what your student needs in their music lesson, like, it's not going to work.
This makes so much sense to me. So, where can people find Shine? Because you're all over the internet and the socials and all that sort of stuff. And are you taking new clients?
We always take new clients.
Clients, students?
Students. Yeah. We teach private lessons for anybody, so we have like even ages like 4 months. We have baby group classes. We have a Taylor Swift choir, which has been huge.
Wait, what?
I know, and it's all ages. So we tried to open one, and in 1 week we had 3, because people just want to go sing some Taylor Swift like with their family.
Amazing.
I know, it's so good. And we'll offer the sheet music and offer just lyrics, so it's not like you have to come and read the music. It's there if you want. And we'll teach a little bit as we go. But you have the lyrics too there if you want, or you can learn by ear. So it's really just about, what do you need? Let's learn some Taylor Swift. Let's take a video, on to the next one.
I don't know how to word this next question in a way that is as holistic and inclusive and I guess as I want it to be. And can you think of the most interesting music education experience that you've had with a student?
Yes.
Like, just like, I never thought that to teach somebody music I'd be doing this.
Yes. So I often get this question, and I always tell the same story, because it does happen a lot, this similar story. But I worked with a student who was nonverbal, and they were having a lot of issues in their family life. So their family would tell me, like, you know, they're sad. We don't know why. They're communicating even less these days, and we don't know why. We want to get them in a music lesson. Let's see if this helps, kind of deal. And so I would go to her room, and we would play some music, and I would write music with her. So I would say, like, she could nod yes or no. That was her communication. She could nod. And so I would say, is this what you want to say? And she would nod yes, so I'd write that into a song. Is this what you want to say? No. Is this what you want to say? She'd write it into a song. So we wrote this like 3-page song, and then we sang it to her family, and her family then knew what she was going through.
Oh my goodness.
Through this song that she wrote. I still have a video of it, it's amazing. And it ended up being about the loss of her grandmother and the loss of a couple people in her family who she really missed, and was confused why they were gone.
So she's like, in her head she can't talk to anybody about it, and like, but music let all of that come out. That's amazing.
Well, she was comfortable enough, you know, through this music lesson, to tell me why, in her own way, why she was feeling the way that she was.
That's like.
But that happens all the time.
It's like you create another language that people are able to speak through.
And
that's so cool.
Even when we get emails now, like I was saying earlier, I have a child who's nonverbal. Can we come? I'm like, yes, please. Yes,
you should
today.
come. You should come.
Yeah, you know.
How come you're not here yet?
You know, and I just want to get that out there. Like I want everyone to feel important and celebrated enough to know that they deserve these lessons.
So if people were to go creep you across socials and go to your website, will they be able to find? Because I know that there's privacy-related stuff there. There might not be videos of people performing or rehearsing or any of that stuff, but in the event that there is, they could go and maybe get some encouragement. Be like, well, if this person could do it, I could probably do it.
I hope so. Yeah, we do post videos now and then with people's permission, but yeah, a lot of our students, and I've had some students for 8 or 9 years, and it's the stories are just amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah. A lot of people who are now teenagers and struggling with anxiety and will write a song, and this is the control that you have now over some of your anxiety because this is your song, you know? I'm reminded of certain professional musicians that have different illnesses of sorts, like Louis Capaldi, of course, has Tourette's. So like sometimes he can sing through his Tourette's, but if he can't, there's a viral video. He's on stage and the crowd starts singing and he's like ticking and he can't finish it. And Seal, you know who Seal is? Oh yeah.
I can't Seal has lupus?
I don't know.
I think.
What Seal
anyway,
has.
so it's something like that whereby his body just attacks individual systems at times.
Yeah.
But when he can't speak, he can sing, but he can't speak, which is super fascinating. And I think, Emily, Shine is so cool. Thank you so much for what you're doing, and thank you for being here to tell us about it. And I want all of you to go look up Shine Music, go learn about it. Tell your nan to go finally learn how to play the ukulele because she fell in love with Elvis in Hawaii. And, and stick around. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Out of the Fog. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you, Minister Tom Osborne, your honor, the Honorable Minister of Health and Community Services, previous Minister of, I guess, everything else, and now it's time for this. Thank you for cutting time out of what I assume is just a really boring day with nothing much else to do, obviously. Right?
We're always looking for something to do.
Yeah, I bet. Thanks for coming to sit down. The last time you were here, we stumbled upon 20-something minutes of just really good conversation, and we said, hey, we should do that again.
Yeah.
Let's start with sort of a State of the Union, kind of, because I was going to say Eastern Health just because I'm on the Avalon, but your department, through its budget, kind of revised things and injected a significant amount of funds with the intention of reducing some issues that the public had said were real legit concerns. Some of those being wait times and things like that, and they were top priorities. It's been a little bit of time since then. How are you feeling about those decisions, their execution, and moving forward?
We are seeing progress. You know, changing healthcare is like turning a cruise ship. It happens slowly. It's a massive machine. I think the last time I was here, I think it was on this show, it might have been another, but I said fixing healthcare is like trying to change a tire on a moving vehicle. Healthcare doesn't stop. You don't shut off the lights. It is going 24/7, 365. So bringing about change when healthcare professionals are on the job and busy and focused on providing healthcare is challenging. I mean, the Premier has said in this province, healthcare is in trouble. That's the reason he brought in the Health Accord, to try and transform healthcare and the delivery of healthcare and what healthcare looks like. The system was designed for generations ago.
A long time ago.
For a long time ago. And not much has changed since. And not that it, I guess it's cold comfort, but we have to recognize that whether you're looking at Nova Scotia, Ontario, Alberta, BC, every province across the country are dealing with the same healthcare issues.
So I'll validate that, sure, but I'm also of the opinion that, like, what if all of the other provinces were jumping off a bridge? Like, just because it's what everybody else is dealing with, like, that doesn't mean that, like, it's good enough for us.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
right? So, like you said, cold comfort. Yeah, okay, but I'm too busy in my own depression to worry about everybody else's depression too.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. So, and that's the reason I said cold comfort. We recognize that every province is facing healthcare professional, a deficit of healthcare professionals. We realize that every province is overspending on healthcare versus the results. Whether, the benchmarks, whether it's heart disease or diabetes or cataract surgeries, every province is struggling to maintain or meet the benchmark wait times across the country. What we've done different is we said, okay, we need to fix it. And I hear from other ministers in other provinces. We hear it from the federal minister, and we hear from other provinces. The Health Accord is really looked upon by across Canada. Now, I'm certain other provinces are looking to do the same or have started to do the same. But the Health Accord is a transformational plan and a transformational document that will bring us from having a system that was in trouble to having one of the best systems in the country.
What are we looking for? How will we know?
So, over the past 5 years, the healthcare budget in this province now is over $4 billion. It's more than 40% of every dollar spent of public money by the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. But over the past 5 years, we've increased from about $3 billion to just over $4 billion. That's a significant increase in healthcare spending. We haven't seen the metrics change because of the increased spending. Some would argue healthcare has gotten worse over the last 5 years, even though there was a substantial increase in healthcare spending. So the Health Accord focuses on things like the social determinants of health. If we're going to fix heart disease or lower the rates of heart disease in the province.
Yeah, that doesn't mean hire more cardiovascular surgeons.
No, that means changing how we live, changing how we eat, changing how, it is the social determinants of health. So the Health Accord not only talk about living healthier and being healthier and putting investment into that and focusing on that, it also talks about climate change and those types of inputs and how we need to adapt and change. But it also lays out a plan for primary care. So the family care teams, as an example, over the course of 5 years, the first 5 years of the Health Accord, we're 2 years into it now, we have 19 family care teams announced, but over the course of 5 years, every individual in the province will have access to a family care team should they want to. So that's direct access to primary care. It talks about the new Cardiovascular Stroke Institute, as an example. We have more cardiovascular surgeons in the province today than we've ever had in the history of our province. Part of that is because of the Cardiovascular Stroke Institute. So we've been able to recruit based on the fact we're going to have the best in Atlantic Canada, one of the best in all of Canada, the Cardiovascular Stroke Institute. That will not only focus on how we treat cardiovascular disease, so cardio, your heart, brain, legs, the cardiovascular stroke. So not only how we treat disease, how we help prevent the disease. So this is
because
how we...
I guess you don't need $4 billion of healthcare service if you don't have an overweight, aging population of people with heart and stroke issues, diabetes, heavy smokers, and alcoholism as an issue.
Absolutely. And that is generational. So
Yes.
we won't see a reduction in heart disease in the province next year because we put billions of dollars extra into healthcare. But we will start seeing the inputs. And, the cardiovascular stroke, as an example, we're talking about centres of excellence in aging in the province, and we've put those in place. We have an aging demographic. So how do we deal with that side of healthcare? Well,
Which, of course, is, like you said, like a longer-term thing. So this brings to mind, I mean, you've been I'll say a successful politician provincially, and when I say successful, I don't just mean that, like, people said yes to you and checked the box next to your name and you got voted in, which has also been true. Obviously, that's why you're here. But you've also been instrumental in a lot of growth and change of other departments through your political career. And I realize that this might be a difficult question to answer, but on the heels of the conversation that we're having now about how, listen, it's just built into the system that you're not going to remove the genealogy, the genetics that makes us have high incidence of spina bifida over the course of one politician's term, or one budget, or one whatever. That's a generational thing, obviously. Are there points in your career that you can look back on and say, when I was in education, or when I was in finance, or when I was in whatever, we made a decision that we knew was going to take a long time for us to see the result of? Are there things that you can think of now that give you the confidence to say, no, I know that you can't see it, and I understand why you can't see it, because I wouldn't be able to too, but I can, and here's why?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can point to concrete examples of that. I mean, nobody remembers, and you don't do it because you want people to remember.
Sure.
But, curbside recycling in Corner Brook or Mount Pearl, for example, we also have it now in St. John's, but in environment, those were as a result of decisions that government made at the time to put that in place. And now it's second nature for most people. We are seeing more waste diverted from landfills. So the 10-year plan, and to his credit, the Premier had looked at, well, if we keep putting if we keep putting money in but doing things the same way, we're going to get the same results.
Yeah,
more money into healthcare is not going to fix healthcare unless we change things. And that's why he put the Health Accord in place, which has been accepted by people of all political stripes. So, even if, this time next month or 6 months down the road, there's somebody else in healthcare, the plan is in place. So the plan is there to be followed. The
Can't that plan just be like, nah, we're going to do this instead?
But
it's not legislation as such. It's not like the law to do it this way.
It's not, but the way it was put together, there were, Sister Elizabeth Davis, Dr. Pat Parfrey were the authors, but they had hundreds of people having input into the Health Accord.
It's not a partisan document.
It's not a partisan document in any way, shape, or form. All parties of the legislature really have bought into the concept of the Health Accord. Health professionals of all disciplines have had input into the Health Accord. So it is a transformational document. So I believe that, yes, in 10 years' time, people will look at healthcare. They may not remember that Andrew Fiore brought about the health accord, but they will see a difference in healthcare, not only the inputs as well as the outputs.
Because it's not about who did it, it's about the fact that it needs to be done.
It needs to be
so
done.
The mark of the most successful politician is everybody's happy and nobody knows why.
Absolutely, and you know that is
Or nobody
hitting the nail
cares
on the head.
why.
Nobody cares
might
why.
be better why.
But,
yeah.
but you know, seeing change or seeing, you know, a positive impact, or, you know, that is really, whether you're a minister, a deputy minister, or CEO of the health authority, everybody is striving for a better system.
Minister, thank you very much for taking your time again. We're going to get you next time, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here directly from Minister Tom Osborne's mouth. Everything that is great about your life is exactly 100% because of him and only him. That is exactly what he said. That's what's happening. Thank you very much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this.
I wish I had that power.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
And we're back. I'm happy with this one. I'm happy with this one for a couple of reasons. One, I'm happy with it because conversation with Emily about what music has done for people is like heartwarming and enlightening. Like, I bought a ukulele to help retrain my hand to be able to use again, so I get the rehabilitative properties. Our floor director cried hearing the story. That's true. And now she's like, don't tell me about it. And I'm also really happy about this one because Mr. Tom Osborne is like, he's so easy to talk to and he says stuff to make sense. And at first you're like, he's just so monotone. I'm like, nah, this is him. If you have seen everything that I have seen, why would you get worked up over this? Because he's just chill and to the point, and he gets it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to our guests. We'll see you next week.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
Thursday on Sportsnet. The wait is finally over.
Here we go.
The Blue Jays are back.
It's go time.
Batter up.